and it looks like they're going to be ready to go. So JonSnow he knows what's going to be up. Creature is ready to go. We're going to get into this game. It is Cactus Valley. This will be the last time we're going to see this evening.
Yes.
And this is going to be it. Will JonSnow be able to force that ace match for this best of 3 series? Or are we going to get a 2-0 for Creature, allowing Creature to move on to the round of 16?
It's another large map, and I feel like large maps have really favored Protoss. I don't think in any of the games we've watched today, a Zerg has won a single Cactus Valley or Iron Fortress. Oh wait, never mind, there was the Immortal Sentry Hold, and there was something before that. That was totally wrong. Never mind. Let me rephrase that. Hasn't won a single late game. Still wrong. Let's just ignore what I said.
Yeah, we're going to ignore that. But spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, it is the blue Zerg player from Flipside Tactics. He's down 1 game, facing elimination. Can he bring it back? It is JonSnow.
We shall see. It is always hard to win those 2 games in a row, especially when you're a little bit on tilt, which he very well might be. He made an incorrect decision last game. Will he commit the same sin this one? Will he, Hawkeye? Will he?
I'm not sure, but in order to know maybe for sure if JonSnow will do it, why don't you introduce our top left player?
In the top left, the player 1 point away from beating one of the best Zergs on A and going to the next round of the RSL, playing for Team Ascension, for their professional team because they have a lot of scrub teams that don't matter. We have Creature. Compose yourself, Hawkeye.
That BM. We don't want any bad blood between us and Rival Gaming and Team Ascension Pro.
I'm sorry, I love you and all your
I mean, it is kind of comical that they have like, what was it, like 2 other like community teams on top of their pro.
They have competitive and something else. Community, I think. I don't quite remember.
Yeah, but anyways, we're gonna see that this is where Creature is gonna go for that Nexus first. So that opening build order that JonSnow was still hoping for last game. Creature.
Hawkeye, he's rattled. He went for pool first versus Nexus first. Oh, the humanity.
And we're gonna see Creature's gonna get the first scout here, and that.
Let me walk you 1 second. Let me walk you through Creature's mindset right now. Oh yeah. That's what he's thinking. He just goes into his base like, no gas, no all-ins. You went for a safe opener. Ha 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 ha. And it's like he's already thinking about the round of 16 right now, man. Is that how many people are in the? Well, how many people are in the RSL?
There's 32 players. Come on.
Okay. So round of 16, I got it.
Yeah, round of 16. I've only repeated it 5 times in this evening. So Tramp showing that his listening skills are maybe 6 out of 10 on a good day, but it's okay because his game knowledge is brought in so that we can understand more of what these players are thinking, which turns out to be, look, there's a pool. Ha ha ha.
Shut up, Hawkeye. It's alright. I remember. I listen when it matters. And right now I'm listening to the sound of JonSnow's sorrow because this is. Let's talk about pool first versus Nexus first. Like, hatchery into speed versus Nexus first is kind of rough, but pool first against Nexus first, you're always playing from far from behind, and you have to ask yourself, like, how do I come back? Do I hold a really good all-in? Do I play really greedy? Because in a straight-up fight, until we go to those late game scenarios, your opponent's always going to have that tiny edge, and it's tough to work around. So we're going to see if JonSnow looks for some kind of aggressive tactic to get him back in the game, or if he's just going to try to throw caution to the wind and play extremely greedy, hoping for that late game to dissipate the advantage that Creature holds at the moment. Stargate coming down for Creature.
Yeah, Creature definitely getting that Stargate, and I just looked over at the chat. There's a person that says, that's not a fan of you, Tramp.
Oh boy.
He says he matters as a Team Ascension player. But, Tramp, you can't be making enemies like this. Not publicly.
I'm sorry.
It's alright, though. It's alright. We know that it's not StarCraft with a little bit of BM mixed into it. All in good fun. That's when it starts talking about cancer that it all gets a little... But, you know. Getting back to this game, we see that Stargate is finishing up, so can we expect oracles out of this?
Well, it's nothing quite yet, but yeah, of course you can expect oracles. You don't see phoenixes anymore. Silly Hawkeye. Phoenixes don't exist in the game of StarCraft 2. I'd more likely expect to see a Void Ray than I would a Phoenix. When I run into Phoenixes on ladder, I'm not seeing a Phoenix, I'm seeing a dinosaur.
A pterodactyl, to be precise.
Yeah, pterodactyl. Coming out of JonSnow, we're seeing this kind of, next, he's banking a little bit of gas, but he's just going into probably a standard layer timing. Nope, never mind, it's going to be a roach push. Yes, this is definitely a roach push. So this is designed to pretty much kill a quick third out of Protoss. Unfortunately, we're not seeing a quick third out of Protoss, we're seeing an Oracle. And aside from that, creature will be hanging back, showing no signs of taking an extra third just yet, even getting that Nexus on the low ground, that extra gateway on the low ground, hoping to play a bit more defensive behind his Oracle. And the Oracle doesn't quite die and gets 7 kills, Hawkeye. 7 kills. Oh boy.
Look at this. Look at this, Tramp. I'm looking at the chat right now.
Don't look at the chat.
There's Team Ascension people and rival people all having a friendly conversation because of you. You brought them together over your comments about Team Ascension Pro.
I'm glad, and I knew this would happen. I foresaw this outcome.
I know it's fun when you start seeing Kappas in the chat here, but we're going to see these Lings are going to start dancing around here looking for that third base, but they're not going to see anything, so...
Oh, look, the second most likely Stargate unit is being produced, a Void Ray. So it seems like he's not going to be taking a third. It really comes out to Creature leveraging this advantage that he feels he has to simply kill his opponent with a... Actually, never mind, taking a third. This is really late. I'm surprised. He probably scouted the link speed and decided to delay. I was expecting him just to go for a Stargate bus, but instead it looks like Creature's going to be playing it a bit later. Going for that blink. Let me check the worker count. It looks like, with this delayed Nexus, I'm not sure how far behind. I don't think JonSnow's that far behind anymore. He's done a good job keeping his opponent scared. A little bit of poke harass. Hawkeye, you there?
Yes, I am.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. I'm just listening to you cast. We do have some gateways that are unfolding into warp gate finally. So 10 minutes in, we have more warp gates ready and operational. Third base is down here and is just about finished. So these workers are going to be able to start finding from that base here pretty shortly, and 4 more gateways here. So that's going to be, what is it, like a 9 gate or some shit or stuff?
Yep. This is probably gonna hit super hard. It's gonna be a blink push that's gonna start and never stop.
And we're gonna see that tunneling clauses is being researched by JonSnow. So John trying to get into a position where he can start sending those burrowed roaches off over to the corners of the map and sneak them into the base and start getting some worker kills, getting that multi-prong harass. And we're even seeing his Lings are even trying to get some harassment in.
Yeah, and this is what I was talking about with edges. When you're behind and you know your opponent's like competent and everything, you need to find a way to get those little economic boosts. Picking off probes here and there, burrowed roaches. This is the kind of styling that you should go for when you're behind, because it has such a high variance that it will take your 0% chance to win and increase it by maybe just a slight amount, but that's usually all you need if you're good enough.
Yeah, so we're going to see these roaches are going to start getting that concave ready, and they're going to start pressing in here. So, but there's this Void Ray that's going to go ahead and use its charge here.
Yeah,
and
the clause is not quite done yet, and there's going to be potentially Revelations coming up soon. But not even at the moment, there's no energy for it, so there's no way for him to see these roaches. This is really good for JonSnow. The unburrow with the fully healed roaches goes off. He's picking off sentries left and right. Tunneling claws will be done momentarily. This is going to be a fighting retreat for Creature. The Mothership Core is not in position to recall home. Tremendous damage is being dealt here. The burrow goes out. He's going to unburrow under these stalkers, pick off at least a few more tech-heavy units, and this has been a decisive hold for JonSnow. Oh boy, Hawkeye. Oh boy.
Yeah, this is big for JonSnow. I do wish he would use that Void Ray to try to take out some of these roaches here, and it looks like he's finally going to, but a little bit of Burrow is going to just be able to save these roaches. So now he's going to transition to Hydralisk and start getting that anti-air into that army, so he can start getting that higher DPS and just being able to deal with that Void Ray.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is going to be pretty close. Like, I thought that creature was pretty far ahead, but JonSnow doing a good job to stabilize. The only thing I can say against JonSnow is he's maxed out on a lot of these, like, really low-tech units. Roaches are great for winning that fight and holding, but they're really, really bad for a late game situation. Right now, they're still useful, but he has to do usable damage here. The burrowed roaches going into the base of creature. They're gonna definitely get some kills as this fight happens at the third base. Really solid engagement for JonSnow. The blink micro is formidable. Oh boy, this seems to be going pretty well for JonSnow so far. He couldn't have expected to win that fight, but he did get the damage that I'm sure he wanted to. 7 probes going down. Very big at this stage in the game.
Yeah, and it's just JonSnow is just finding these small little ways to try to get back into this game here. We've even seen that roaches are appearing in the main, so that's going to force a warp in here, and even in the natural as well. So I'm going to be able to get some more probe kills. We see the probe kills count is at 12, and now the burrowed roaches is just going to move out of the way, pretend they don't exist anymore, and then boom, they're going to come back out again.
This is really, really intelligent play we're seeing out of JonSnow. He basically diagnosed the situation, him being farther behind his opponent based off the openers, and deduced the not necessarily the best strategy against Protoss, but the best way that he could come back. And these burrowed roaches are doing just that. They're bringing him back. And behind this, he's teching up. He's getting that infestation pit. He's getting that fungal growth potential, getting tons of hydras. And JonSnow has contained his opponent on 3 bases, and he's doing pretty well for himself. I still think this game can go either way, what with that Templar Archives likely to be finished and ready before the attack comes out of JonSnow. Well, maybe not, because JonSnow's nearly maxed. I don't know, Hawkeye. I don't think Creature can hold this follow-up push.
Yeah, JonSnow looking very formidable right here, and you hit it right on the nail. JonSnow is doing what he can to try to get back into this lead, and we actually see that with that Oracle disappearing, that might, I think that's the last detection unit that's out there besides the cannon, so that's just going to make the burrow play more helpful.
Yeah. Wow, this roach is still being annoying. I am just in awe of JonSnow's multitasking right now. Macroing like a god, pulling off this harass against a race that typically does the harassing. I really hope that this turn... I gotta be honest, I'm rooting for JonSnow right now. I wouldn't be mad if Creature won, because he is a great player and he's doing tremendous work right now. But JonSnow just showing why he's why he's part of the upper echelon of Zerg as a whole. Going into that Hive Tech a little bit later, that Spire 2, probably going to transition to Broodlords to counter the High Templar tech. Generally, Broodlords are the best answer for High Templar. Enough Broodlords can only be killed by what are they called? Tempests? Yeah, Tempests.
Mm-hmm.
And, this counterattack coming out at the third looks like Creature's completely out of position. This is likely to get a few gateways and then he'll back off. Probably not going to do too much because Storm is done and ready to go, is it not? Yes.
Yeah. We see that storm going down, so...
Oh, good storms. This is tricky. Beautiful blink to intercept the infestor. He's going to get almost all of them. He's losing a lot, but Creature really doing whatever he can for the watch.
Yeah, so... But Creature did lose a lot of units there, too, so JonSnow already in a massive supply lead and army lead, almost doubling the Protoss army supply in army units as well.
Yep. These burrowed roaches still in the base. They will never die. Fourth is gonna finish up for Creature, and this Nexus will solidify. And he's quite low on supply, but he does have an army that is capable of pushing back with the right force fields. I am hoping that Creature manages to hang in there for a little while longer just to make things exciting. but there will be quite a large push coming. Broodlords is the tech transition of choice for JonSnow, and once that hits, it's going to be quite hard to get the tech down for Stargates and Tempests. I don't know. Do you think Creature can bring it back, Hawkeye?
I think Creature has an opportunity here, but these Broodlords are going to be very formidable, so he has to do something now to secure himself against that threat. But I don't think he even knows.
Yeah, push coming in at the 4th. He has no scouting position. There's no, and this Roach counterattack coming into the 3rd with Burrow is even more annoying. He's just sort of trying to keep his opponent's army pinned at the 4th, while the real damage is this little run by that's going to hit at the 3rd. All the while, he's stalling for his actual late game plan, which is really just a burnout supply for these Broodlords.
Yeah, we're going to see these Roaches are going to come in and get some damage done. 3 Zealots aren't going to be enough, so another Warp in at the 3rd base here. But
oh, and Tunneling Claws Roaches coming in at the natural at the same time. JonSnow is just everywhere, and you can be sure that if Creature gets out of position, the real army will swing in to snipe the 4th.
Yeah, he's even pulling back some of his army, but there's not too much left here.
Broodlords are on the way through 4 Broodlords morphing. Great Psy Storms coming out of Creature, definitively pushing back the army of JonSnow. Look at that creep spread, really. So this is like what you see out of normal Zergs. Like they get all their economy up, and then they start spreading that creep like really far and wide. These burrowed Roaches just being the biggest pain imaginable. More Roaches off to the side waiting to slip in, and the army posturing with the Death Lords, the GG Lords, the God Lords, is moving in for the kill.
Yeah, we see Infestors are going to go ahead and get some Fungal Growths off, keeping some of those units in. And Infestors are actually going to get chased here, so losing 1 Infestor, but going to bring them back.
Managed to become close to max, so if you can do some of the counter damage here, that's nice. But there's a Spinecrawler wall that's unlikely to be answered, and the Turtle Broodlord has fully come into play. Meanwhile, the Roaches continue to pest his opponent. So the idea is to just defend against his opponent's all-in-ish push. Meanwhile, he does counter-aggression constantly.
Yeah, so we do see a big Spinecrawler wall out and a good amount of Broodlords, but there is still this Void Ray that can focus down the Broodlords. So as long as that gets micro correctly.
This isn't the Schwarzenegger Void Ray, okay? He's not gonna kill.
It could be the Schwarzenegger Void Ray. I mean, look at this guy. He has 8 kills already. He's a mentor, which is what Schwarzenegger does on our fitness.
He teaches people. He teaches people for a living, man.
Yeah, but we're gonna see there's a ton of Hydras here, so Void Ray is gonna have to be microed very carefully to be a hero Void Ray.
Just pointing out again the never-ending harass. The guys have probably died a million times. Army posturing with the Broodlords, going in for another rough. Well, let's look at the Broodlord count. It's really starting to get out of control. We have 8 Broodlords on the field. That's a lot of money in the sky. Basically, Zerg's capital ship. Speaking of capital ships, lots of Void Rays being produced for Creature. He knows he needs this tech switch right now, but this 4th is unlikely to live, and this 3rd continues to be pestered by these never-ending Roaches.
Yeah, but look at all these queens that are below the Broodlords. These Broodlords are gonna live for a long time, but we know that our Creature knows that it might be a little too late, so he's going to start going to the other side of the map to try to get this damage done.
Yeah, this has to happen. Like, he needs to do a lot of damage in the recall home, not lose all these units. This is rough, because these Broodlords are going to still be a threat. These Broodlords can really answer this army pretty convincing. The Fungals are good. Creature's chances of winning this game are diminishing pretty rapidly. The Void
and he's going to run into these Broodlords here, so Stalkers are going to try to blink and take out one of them, but there's just too many Broodlings here. They're going to take out all the anti-air, so it's going to be up to these Void Rays that are coming out then. I'm feeling a sandwich coming up.
A sandwich? Are you hungry? Is that it?
That, or we're watching the Broodlords press in, and then actually the recall comes happen. So smart move by Creature to go back, but
really critical units. Like, you obviously can't lose those High Templars. Psystorm is, even though the Broodlords are out, Psystorm is great because Zerg will always have that Hydra army, and it'll always have the Infestors and the Vipers. So really, really cannot lose that many Templar. It's critical to any chance you have of survival. The Void Rays have been massing up, but there are enough Hydras to answer this. It looks like JonSnow is just going in for the kill here. Storms will dissuade him for as long as they can, but the Broodlords will never stop poking. And we'll let see Creature tap out soon enough. Oh boy.
Yeah, good storms going down, and we're not really seeing too much, but feedback's going to go down on some of these queens, so they're not going to have the opportunity to transfuse here. But, ooh, big fungal growth on these Void Rays, so...
These Psy Storms have been really, really good.
Yeah.
And now all the Templar are dead. They are gone. These Hydras are underneath the Void Rays. Not even these Colossi can come and save the day. And that is that. Out.
Yeah, JonSnow bringing it back, doing what he can to get out of this group here. This is going to be the final game between these two players. This is big news.
Yes, it is. It's as big as it gets. Well, this is it, Hawkeye. This is a big game. We got some good players in chat talking right now. X-Kaiwan is a pretty good GM Terran. Bio King, I think I called him. I don't know. Hu Shang, really good. Believe. Shout out to all. Hope you enjoy this final game between two great players I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yeah, and also, let's give it up for our admin team for the RSL. Yes. We see the Mighty Kaboosh is in the chat right now interacting with all these players while I'm too busy doing all the production needs that the RSL requires in order to run as a league. So, thank you, Kaboosh, for helping out with the planning of the RSL and making sure that this gets off the ground and taking care of interacting with the chat. You're our community manager that we love.
Hawkeye, you're like a self-created Archon. That's what you are.